Good morning, grade 3 and 4. It is Monday, May 11th, 2020, 5-11-20, our last full week of school. We will have a few tests to do next week, but otherwise we will be all set to go. Today you have your word of the week, which is know, K-N-O-W. What do you know about God? And you'll begin your work on homegrown butterflies in your hardcover reading book. And make sure you read that and take the AR test on it. Start your packet. If you do a page a day, that's works out just exactly right. So you can be finished on Thursday and then submit that to me. I have a few of you that need to turn in some of yours from past weeks. So make sure you get those turned in and then make sure you take care of whatever your EPIC assignments were for today. Read those and take the AR test on them as well. Grade 3 has math tests today. And grade 4 will be working through lesson 118. You should be wrapping up your junior park ranger packets. Have someone from your family testify that you have accomplished and finished your work. And I hope that you send in what you need to so that you can get your certificate or your badge or whatever. Each group is a little bit different, whatever you get from that national park. Today you will be taking a test on the Wisconsin Studies Weekly World War II paper, okay? And we'll go through those answers for that crossword puzzle in just a moment. And then what we're going to be doing, we have 7 newspapers yet to go through. So we're going to be starting one each day. You read it, you do the work. The next day we correct it, we take the test. So it's going to go boom, 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 boom. On Friday, you will receive 2 of them to read and do on Friday or over the weekend. And then on Monday, next Monday, we will take those 2 tests. And then you will be finished. Yay! Alrighty. So if you look at your calendars, you can kind of look ahead to some things that we have going on this week as far as when your tests, and we have one more investigation to accomplish. So we'll plan on doing a group meet on Friday if that works out for your families, okay? And we can set a time, whatever you'd like, around 9 o'clock or so. That worked out well for me. If that works out well for you guys, 9 or 9:30, or we can do it a little bit later at 10 o'clock. This one shouldn't take very long either, okay? So we have one more of those to do, and then we are all set with math. Okay, that will be our last thing for math this week. You have your first letter to do today, your first and last. This week, please do letter number 1 and do one each day, something different, and then get them all sent in on Thursday as well. Okay, so again, start working on the Wisconsin manufacturing. You only have today. Okay, tomorrow we correct it and then you take the test on it right away. Read carefully, okay? Just because we're doing them a little bit more quickly, that you're taking the test more quickly, doesn't mean you shouldn't take your time, okay? Take your time. You should have been wrapping up with your junior park ranger things, so that should be finished up with. The rest of the things that you have to do today shouldn't take you much time, okay? So put your time and effort into reading this and understanding it, and so that you can do well on the test. And then when you're doing the test, for example, on World War II, the main problem I see for most of you when you're getting things wrong is you're just not reading the question carefully, especially so you don't answer it appropriately, and also making sure that you have a complete answer, okay? So some of those questions, even that you have to write a response, there's more than one question there. So make sure you're answering everything. Read your answer again. Read the question one more time after you answer it and say, did I answer everything they asked me? Okay, we want good grades. All right. I'm going to switch to my other screen and we will correct our Wisconsin history. And then 4th grade, if you want to have your math ready to roll, that would be great. Okay, here we go. There it is. All right. So number 3, harbor attacked by Japanese bombers on December 7th, 1941. And that is Pearl Harbor. Pearlharbor. And remember, this is before Hawaii was a state. This was just a territory that belonged to us. But it still did belong to the United States. Number 5, what kind of secret bomb ended the war with Japan? Number 5 across is atomic, A-T-O-M-I-C. popular machines everybody wanted, but that were not available to buy during World War II, and that is cars. They could get the replacement parts, remember, but no new cars were being made. All of those manufacturing plants changed over to doing equipment that was needed for the war. Every American's favorite uncle during World War II, and that is Uncle Sam. UNCLESAM. The warring country that surrendered in May of 1945, and that is Germany. GERMANY. Number 10, number 1 down, a product you put in your car that suddenly became hard to get during World War II, and that is gasoline. GASOLINE. And a famous military leader who grew up in Milwaukee, and that is MacArthur, MACARTHUR. A certain amount of food, clothing, fuel, and that is a ration, RATION. I'm sure you guys don't really see it much because I don't think you probably go shopping with your families. But for me, when I go grocery shopping, they are asking us to ration or limit the amount that we get. So for example, on hamburger, please do not take more than 2. It's not a law, but they're asking us to be courteous about that. Or on canned goods, don't take more than 4 total canned goods. Alrighty. Everybody's favorite riveter is Rosie, ROSIE, and warring country that surrendered in August of 1945, and that is Japan, JAPAN. All right. Make sure you understand the difference between homophones, something you hear, and homographs, that they are written exactly the same, but they are pronounced differently and have different meanings as well. Okay, homophone, it sounds exactly the same, but it is spelled differently and has a different meaning. Okay, all right, so there we go. That is that. 3rd grade can get to business. 4th grade, let's do some math. So today, 4th grade, we're going to talk about dividing by a 2-digit number. Now you have done that when you've been dividing by 10, and we've done multiples of 10. So in this lesson, we're just going one step further, okay? And I will let you know, there's a lot of work that I'm going to be expecting you to show me here, and it might not be a bad idea to have a calculator to check your answers. Not to do all of the work for you, but to check your answers, all right? So the first thing that we're going to look at in example 1 is 95 divided by 31. Okay. Now the same thing with this, we kind of think in our head, just as we did before, covering up that ones digit. Well, how many times could 3 go into 9? That will help us to know how many times 31 can go into 95. Okay. Are you guessing 3? Me too. Now, feel free to use your calculator to do 31 times 3 to see if it is something that is less than 95, and it is. Okay? So we write our 3 up on top, right above the 5, because we are doing 95 divided by 31. 3 times 31 is 93. We subtract and we get a 2. Now, is this number 2 less than 31? It sure is. So then it's quite likely that we did it right. So we have a 3 remainder 2. How can we check that work? Feel free to use your calculator. 31 times 3 plus 2. What do we get? 95. Okay. Let's try example 2. On example 2, I'm going to slide my paper over a little bit here. It asks us to do 246 divided by 43. Okay, so same thing. We cover up the ones digit. Here we have 24 then. Here we have a 4. So we think, how many times, or what do we multiply by 4 to get 24? And that would be 6. So let's try 43 times 6 with our calculator. 43 times 6. Uh-oh. Is 43 times 6 more or less? It's more. Now I'm going to double check to make sure that I did it right. 43 times 6 equals 258. So on my page, I'm going to write so that my teacher knows that I did 43 times, whoops, not times 2, times 6, and I got 258. So that's too much. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to go one less. So let's try 43 times 5. 215. Okay, is that less than 246? Yes, so that works. So I will write a 5 here above my 6 because I'm doing 246 divided by 43. What is 5 times 43? 215. So I write that below. Now, because this is the one I'm writing here, I don't need to put that separate, but I do on your page. If you choose one and it doesn't work, I want to see that you thought about that, okay? Because that is the one that you would most typically try. All right, now we subtract. 6 take away 5 is 1. 4 take away 1 is 3. Is there anything else to bring down? No. Is 31 less than 43? Yes. How can I double check to make sure it's correct? Well, I could use my calculator and actually do 43 times 5 plus 31. 246. Yep, I got it right. Now, I certainly could do that with pencil paper here as well. We have one more example to look at in our book, and this one, it gives us a story problem to look at. 487 students will be assigned to classrooms so that the average number of students in each room is 21. How many classrooms of students will there be? So we have to take 487 and divide by 21. Yep, you can see that okay, right? All right. So again, we cover up the 7 and we get 48. Can 21 go into 48? It sure can. So then we're going to cover up the 8 and the 1. How many times can 2 go into 4? 2 times. What is 2 times 21? 21 times 2 is 42. That's less than 48. Now, because we're doing 48 here, this is where our 2 goes. What is 2 times 21? 42. We subtract, we get 6. We bring down the 7. Now we have 67 divided by 21. Cover up my 7, cover up my 1. How many times can 2 go into 6? 3. So let's try 3 times 21. 21 times 3 equals 63. Is that less? Sure is. So we did times 3 is 63. Now we subtract. 7 take away 3 is 4. Nothing else to bring down. Let's double check that it's correct. Put my remainder up here. So I do 23 times 21 plus 4 equals 487. I got it. Okay, now we have to answer the question. How many classrooms will they need? Okay, to have an average of 21. Are we going to just let 4 students be all by themselves? No. They're going to have 24 classrooms, right? 24 total classrooms. Now notice that 4 of them are going to have 1 extra. So 20 will have 21. And 4 will have 22. I forgot the word have there. Okay? All right. This is the answer they were asking us for. How many total classrooms will they need? There will be 24 total classrooms, okay? All right. I'm going to do our practice together, but I want to do it on a lesson page, just so that you have an idea of how I want your work to look, okay? Can you use a calculator for parts of this? Yes. Should you check your work? Yes. Can you use a calculator to check your other work? Sure, why not? Okay. So our first problem that we have is 128 divided by 32. So 32 can't go into 12, so how many 32 into 128? So we cover up our 8, we cover up our 2, 12 divided by 3 would be 4. So our first step is to see what is 32 times 4. 128. What? Exactly? Cool beans. 4 times 32 is 128. We subtract, we get 0. Now, maybe you want to double check. Oh, Mrs. Stold, I don't think you're right. 32 times 4. Yep, we did it right. Double checking is always a good idea too. So notice, you won't always have a remainder. Let's try B. Okay, so here's letter B. This was A. You don't have to do this on your lesson page. I'm just doing it so that I can show you that I want to see your work on your page. All right. So for B, we have 90 divided by 21. All right. How many times can 2 go into 9? 4. 21 times 4 gives us 84. That's less. We subtract. 10 take away 4 is 6, so we have 4, remainder 6. Let's double check our work. 21 times 4 plus 6 equals 90. We got it right. Let's do C. And C is 68 divided by 25. All right. So I know that 2 times 25 is 50, 3 times 25 is 75, because I know about quarters. So I'm going to know that it's going to be times 2. I don't even have to use my calculator for that one, do I? I subtract and I get 18. Is 18 less than 25? It sure is, but now let's use our calculator to make sure that our work is correct. So we do 25 times 2 plus 18. And what do we get? 68. All right, let's try D. And for D, we have 250 divided by 42. Okay. So again, how many times can 4 go into 25? That would be 6 times. So let's try 42 times 6. What do we get? Oh, close, but too much. So over to the side, I'm going to write 42 times 6 gives me 252. Now remember, if you don't have a calculator like this, you have one on your Chromebook. You also might have one on a phone or other devices that you have at home. All right, so we know we're going to do 42 times 5. All right, we put our 5 here because we're doing 42 into 250. 5 times 2, 42 is 210. We subtract and we get 40. Is 40 less than 42? Yep. Is there anything left to bring down? Nope. So 5 remainder 40. Let's check that work. 42 times 5 plus 40 gives us 250. We got it. All right, let's try E. 880 divided by 41. Okay, 880 divided by 41. So our first step is how many, if we go to 88, can we take 41 into 88? Yup. So then we cover up this 8 and the 1. How many 8s in 4? We can get 2. All right. 41 times 2 is 82. That works. So we put our 2 above the 8. 2 times 41 is 82. We subtract, we get 6. We bring down. How many times can 41 go into 60? Just once, because we know that 2 times it is 82. That would be too much. We subtract. 10 take away 1 is 9. 5 take away 4 is 1. So we have 21, remainder 19. Let's double check our answer. 41 times 21 plus 19 equals 880. We have one more left to do, gentlemen. And our last one is, just making sure you can see on the page here, 555 divided by 11. All right, so you notice that we're going to have to do 55 divided by 11. That one's an easy one, isn't it? It's 5. So we do 5 times 11 is 55. We subtract and we get 0. Now look, we have a 5 to bring down. We bring down our 5. Can we do 5 divided by 11? No. You can't get any 11s out of 5. You can't get any, that means 0. You can't get any. Okay? 0 times 11 is 0. We subtract. We get a 5. 50 remainder 5. Let's try it. 11 times 50 plus 5 equals 555. Look at that. I hope you worked with me to do these problems. If you didn't, rewind the video and do it, okay? Because this is actually going through the work. I expect you to do your practices, okay? Feel free to use a calculator to check your work, or like in this instance, to check what one will work, okay? Help you out with that part, okay? All righty. There you go. Back to me. There. Not too bad, right? Take your time. Do your good work. A couple reminders. Remember, when you're doing work with fractions or mixed numbers, make sure that they always get to their simplest form, okay? So for example, if you had 5 and 2/6, you would have to reduce that down to 5 and 1/3 would be your final answer. Okay, so just a little note on that one. Otherwise, I think most of the things you've been doing pretty well on. So keep up the good work, and I appreciate it when you call me when you have a question. I love to work through your problems with you and make sure that you have them right. Thanks for taking the time to do that, and your grades have been showing that. Take your time on your test today for Wisconsin history. Be a good reader, okay? Think about your answers. Alrighty, have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Get to my spot here. See ya.